Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Trash, the safe place to cleanse your mind, body, and soul of all that trash you consume this week so you can consume some more tomorrow. I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I am sitting next to the triplet mama, a beautiful queen, HAYLEE HESS, everybody. Hi. Welcome to Weekly Trash.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for dealing with the chaos that has been going on while you got here.
You are totally fine. I get it.
I know.
More
I
than
know
anyone.
You get it. I know you get it. Thank goodness. For those who are listening and no idea what I'm talking about, today my daughter decided to throw up literally 2 hours ago out of nowhere. So Carly, my film girl who usually sits in this room with us, is upstairs babysitting.
And that's totally fine.
And
it happens.
we love her for that. But I was like, thank goodness HAYLEE has triplets and she gets the chaos of kids, because if anyone knows chaos, it's a triplet mama.
Yes. Pure chaos all day long.
I bet. And we need to talk all about it. But before we talk about you being a triplet mom, I want to know all about HAYLEE HESS.
Okay.
So we have to do a dumpster deep dive. A dumpster deep dive. Mouth tongue twister. HAYLEE, where are you from? Today's dumpster deep dive is brought to you by Hello Seconds. Hello Seconds is a high-end thrift store located in Linden, Utah that offers a unique shopping experience for everyone. With a wide range of clothes, home decor, and accessories, Hello Seconds is the perfect place to find hidden gems at affordable prices. You can find brands like Free People, Lululemon, Nike, Anthropologie, Zara, and etc. There are so many amazing brands that you can shop from. At Hello Seconds, the focus is on embracing personal style without breaking the bank. Bougie on a budget. The store believes that fashion shouldn't have a high price tag, and they strive to provide customers with fashionable options at affordable prices. With a constantly changing inventory, there's always something new to discover at Hello Seconds. And not only that, but one of the standout features of Hello Seconds is the affordable booth rental option, where you can make 70% of your sales. Yeah, just selling clothes that you no longer wear that is another person's treasure. Sellers can rent a booth for $20 a week and receive assistance from staff in promoting and selling their items daily. But if you mention Weekly Trash, you will get that rental for free. So join the community of fashion-forward individuals who appreciate the thrill of finding amazing deals at Hello Seconds. Whether you're looking to update your wardrobe or decorate your home or make some cash, Hello Seconds is the place to go.
So I am from Alpine.
Okay, so
Utah.
just down the road.
Yep, just down the road. And I grew up there, and I basically lived there my whole life until I got married.
Okay, and how many siblings do you have?
I have 2 younger sisters.
2 younger sisters, so you're the oldest.
So I'm the oldest, and both of them are actually married now, and my one sister has a baby.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And you almost said daughter, because you had told me that you kind of helped raise your siblings.
Yeah, so when I was younger, my parents had a rough relationship, and it was really hard on me. Yeah. And I mean, they're divorced now, but my mom stuck around for a long time when we just I had really felt like she just needed to divorce him.
Just end it.
It was really hard. And
how old were you when you started to notice that their relationship wasn't normal?
Young. Like I would say even 8.
Really?
Like to 10. Yeah. And so my mom was in a really emotionally vulnerable state. And honestly, I love my parents. I love them, but I've never been close to my dad.
Yeah.
And so I helped with my sisters a lot because my mom worked. And so I was not the primary caregiver. We obviously being a 10, 11, 12-year-old, you can't full time take care of 2 little girls. So but my grandparents helped out a lot, and I did help a lot with my siblings. So
because if you don't mind sharing, I had kind of asked you, because when I did a question box asking what people wanted to hear from you, someone had mentioned your dad, how's your relationship with your dad? And I didn't know anything about that. And so you sent me a voice memo that literally had me crying because I had no idea. And I think that's something that just goes with social media. You really have no idea what people go through or have been through or are currently going through.
Yeah.
But you have kind of a crazy story about, your dad going from a normal dad to then finding himself into drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know exactly when, because I was so young.
Yeah.
So I don't really know exactly when he got into the drugs. But he was working with doctors and stuff, doing medical sales things. So he was in that world.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, yeah, prescription medications and things like that, which was really hard growing up. And especially at such a young age, just seeing my mom go through that was really hard. And it really made me think about my life and like what I wanted in a spouse and like my life going forward. I was like, I'm never going to live like this.
Yeah.
And just, you know, like made those steps along the way. Like as my life went on, I was like, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this. I'm going to set up a plan for myself.
Were your siblings aware of the situation?
Yes and no. They were very little. So
What's the
we're
age
each
gaps?
3 years apart.
Okay. So you and your younger sister are 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was crazy and really emotional. And like, I just have never felt close to my dad. And again, like you said, like no one really sees all that side on social media. Like no one knows what you go through.
No. And so you in high school, middle school, you were going through all of that. And did your close friends know? Did anybody kind of know the situation at home?
Yeah. So grandparents, obviously, family. I was really close with some of like the people in my ward and like neighbors and friends. And I think they could kind of see from the outside in that there was like a lot of issues at home. But yeah, it's better. Like it got better over time. And as I went into high school, like it slowly got better, which is good. But yeah, when I was younger, like I had some pretty crazy experiences with my dad. Thank you. Sorry. And I mean, this is a lot of information.
Yeah.
But like I called the cops on him once and like I would hide the keys for him when he was drunk. And I saw things happen to my mom that I can't unsee. And so, yeah, sorry.
No, that's
going through that as a kid was rough.
Yeah, and I'm sure you felt this need to put on like a brave face for your sisters.
Yes, for sure.
And that, I mean, you've kind of been a motherly figure then since you were so young.
Yeah, and I think that my mom too, like I didn't realize until I got older how emotionally vulnerable she was. And like I can't imagine going through what she went through as a mom of 3 girls, trying to provide and take care of your husband who's going through all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And like as I've gotten older, like I've realized like I really just feel so bad for her and like what she went through because I didn't understand it until I grew up.
And you have kids of your own and you see that at the end of the day, you're doing your best. You just want to give your kids the best life. And there's no guidebook to what to do when you're in that situation. Like,
yeah,
that's hard.
And like a lot of me when I was younger kind of like had a little bit resentment for my mom because like, why don't you leave him? Like he's toxic and it's hard. But as I've gotten older, it's just like, I don't know what she was going through emotionally. And like, it must have been so hard. Yeah, you have to give her grace.
And they're divorced now.
Yes. So they actually got divorced. I want to say about 2 years into Mitch and I's marriage.
Okay.
And that's was
such a long time.
Yeah.
For her to stay in that.
Yeah. And my mom actually, so she got pregnant with me when she was 18.
Okay.
With my dad.
And they weren't married
at that time. Weren't married. They got married a year later.
Okay.
And so I feel like maybe that generation too kind of felt a little more pressured into marriage.
Like, oh, you're
when
pregnant.
They're pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I just think from the like get-go, like it wasn't a good setup and it just like, it wasn't pure love, you know? Yeah. And yeah.
And when they did get divorced, has your mom been able to like have not a new life, because you know that is so much of her life that she spent with him, but have you been able to notice like a happier change, or has that been hard for her going through a divorce?
I think that I don't know. I think she's handling it really well.
Yeah.
Because I think she is a lot happier outside of this because it was a toxic relationship.
Well, that's kind of all she knew if she was 18
but it's
years
all
old.
She knew. And so I think she's just navigating life right now, working and just trying to figure it out because it's still relatively new.
Yeah, 2 years.
You know, so I just like hope she finds someone that like treats her right and someone that she deserves and, you know, just makes her happy.
When was the last time you saw your dad?
I actually randomly ran into him at the gym one time.
No way. So he lives nearby.
I think. I'm not sure.
Oh, so you really have no contact?
Not really, no. So after they divorced, he spiraled like big time. And he like has tattoos all over his face, like all over his body. And he claims he's not on drugs, but like there's things you can see in people, and like I don't know, I just have this hunch that it might be. But yeah, he hasn't met the triplets.
Really?
I don't know what he's doing, but like I don't hate him. Like I forgive him, but you can still forgive someone and protect you and your family.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I just am protecting myself and my kids.
Good. Well, you can forgive, but you can't forget.
Yeah.
And like you said, you saw things, you experienced things that you're not going to be able to ever unsee and forget. And that takes a toll on you mentally, sometimes even physically. And so you can't let that bad energy in, especially when you're a mom and you want to protect, 3 little babies as well.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
It's honestly like I see a lot of hard times as like ways to grow. And so like looking at this and just like my life, I just feel like I've been able to, learn from it, which is good.
Well, you are such like a bright and positive person. You have such a light about you. And I think that's why people love following you, and not only seeing the triplet chaos, but just seeing you for you, because you're such a beautiful person inside and out. So
thank you.
Thanks for coming and talking to me about it. But besides, that horrible trauma that you had to experience, other than that, how was your growing up high school life? Because you served a mission.
Yes. Yeah.
So did you always want to do that?
No. So it was once the age changed.
Okay.
Because girls used to be able to go at like 21.
Yeah, 21.
And then at 19, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll consider it. Like, it sounds like a good idea. So, I just felt like I wanted to go. And so I put my papers, and then, I served in Lima, Peru.
Okay. So that's Spanish or Portuguese?
Spanish.
Yeah. Okay.
So Spanish speaking, and it was great. I loved it.
Was it kind of an escape from the reality at home, or was a part of you scared to leave your sisters?
I was scared. But again, like at that point, like things had gotten better. Like he had found a job and like had been trying to improve himself. So it like got better. And then once the divorce hit, that's when it got worse. So I wasn't too nervous, a little bit, but I think overall it was like a good experience for me to kind of like get out and like be independent and like just like talk about Christ
and like separate yourself from everything going on at home. I'm sure was nice. When you were in high school, did you plan on going to college? Did you go to college?
Yes. So I'd always wanted to be a nurse. Like I was a CNA in high school. And that's another thing is like, I've always been a worker. Like I had a job, like I nannied when I was like, well, not nannied, I babysat and then got my CNA license. So, and then I wanted to be a nurse. So I've just been working my whole life and went to college to be a nurse. And I actually graduated 1 week before having the triplets.
No way.
Yes.
So you've never been out in the field then?
No, not once.
Do you want to? I don't like, I'm like, how would you? I mean, you'd have to wait a hot minute.
Yeah, I would love to, because I simply like love the work. Yeah. But I honestly, nurses need to make more money.
They do.
I feel so bad. And it's like, I didn't realize once COVID hit and my husband started working from home in these tech jobs, I was like, that's really nice. Yeah. Like, I don't have to go in and spend 12-hour days, like slaving away just like on my feet all day long, and just like.
And make an income.
Yes.
A better income a lot of the times. So you were in nursing school pregnant with triplets.
Yes.
So you were doing like your rounds and stuff pregnant?
Yes.
What kind of nurse did you want to be?
So I've always liked mom baby, like labor and delivery. But I just like, they put me in, luckily I like had really good teachers and stuff. And so they like helped me get into a like capstone, like my hours in a good place. So I went to mom baby, and of course all of them were like fascinated.
No, you were probably famous. It's like the triplet mom that's checking my cervix right now.
So they were just like, put your feet up. Do you need a snack? Like, I feel like I was the patient because everyone was so nice to me.
Well, it's a rare thing to see a triplet mom. Let alone a triplet mom in nursing school.
And I was so lucky to have them come a week later. Like it was not expected for them to come early. And I'm sure we'll get into that. But like, I was so lucky because I graduated when I was 27 weeks and they came literally 1 week later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that. Before we do, though, how did you meet your husband, Mitchell?
So kind of crazy story, actually. It's like one of our favorites, but
that's cute that you have a story.
I know.
A lot of the times it's not cute and crazy.
And most of the time it's like Tinder or something.
That's me.
That's still awesome.
Literally everybody. Tinder.
But it's kind of like a crazy romance story. So I had been home from my mission for literally 3 months.
Okay.
Which, so short. And one of my really good friends was getting married, and both of her friends are from California, so their wedding was in Malibu.
Pretty.
Yeah, so gorgeous wedding, like absolutely stunning. And I was there. We were there for a couple days because it was like, we were traveling for it. And my husband, aside from this like little wedding, he was going on a cruise with a big group of friends for spring break. And so I don't know exactly what happened, but like a friend of a friend like knew somebody in the like wedding party or something, and they all had their like dress up clothes for the cruise. And so they're like, let's go like hang out at this wedding, like let's go just like crash it. And so they're like this big group of people just showed up, and then I actually caught the bouquet, and he thought I was pretty, and then he caught the garter, and then he asked me out.
No way.
And then it turned out both of us were from Utah.
No way.
Yeah.
So when he asked you out, was it like, let's go out in Utah or let's go out in Malibu?
Yeah. So we were just talking, and he's like, oh, where are you from? Like, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm from Utah. And he's like, no way, I'm from Utah. And then he's like, I'm going on a cruise. Let's like get back together when when I come back. And so literally he got back, and we were together every single day.
It was game over.
Yeah, game over.
How soon did you guys get married after that?
Oh gosh.
Was it typical Utah, like 5 months?
Yes. Josie, you're gonna die. We met and got engaged and married within like 6 months of knowing each other.
Hey, when you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
When you know, you know. No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it
is crazy. But like, he is the best, obviously.
Yeah,
like my life partner.
You knew right away that he was the one.
Yes,
1000%. And when you told him your family situation, I'm assuming he was probably so supportive, and that was a huge like green flag. Like, I need someone like this in my life.
Yes.
Because you even said growing up, you had this checklist that you're like, I want my husband to not be this way. I need somebody who's going to treat me right. And I'm assuming Mitchell does that.
Yes. And it's actually funny that you bring up the checklist, because I remember when I was younger, back in Young Women's, we wrote this little checklist of things that we wanted in a spouse. I literally, after I met him, I went and found that checklist because I had kept it for years and years and years.
Really?
And I marked every single box.
No way.
Like, he was absolutely perfect for me. And he was so loving and patient through all my family issues. Like, I just don't deserve it. Like, he's just incredible, like incredible person.
I love that for you.
Thank you.
So how soon after getting married were you guys like, let's have babies?
It's kind of funny because when we first got married, we were like, oh yeah, let's have a baby. Like, it was just like so exciting. Like, we got married, it was so exciting. And then we're like, oh, let's start a family.
How old were you? You would have been 22?
Yeah, I think I got married when I was 21.
21,
so
okay.
Yeah. But then we were like, oh no, like, let's think about this. Like, let's put it off a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then, but I was starting to get a little worried because I have PCOS.
Okay.
And so I was worried about trying because I never had a period, like, ever.
Really?
I didn't start like a period until I was like 18 or 19 years old.
No way.
Yeah. And then even then I had it one time and then like never again.
Did you ever have, because with PCOS, don't you have like horrible cramps and stuff?
There's a lot of different symptoms for PCOS. And I honestly think they need to categorize it a little bit more because I just didn't have a period at all. But like, I had other symptoms like acne and things like that. So that was worrying me. And so we talked about it, and I was like, I think I need to get off birth control and just kind of go in and see what's going on.
Were you just on the pill?
Yeah, I was on the IG first, but then I got the pill because I just didn't like the IUD. So yeah, I just was like trying to figure all of that out, and it actually took a while to like try and figure out, like, get diagnosed with PCOS.
Yeah. How did they diagnose you?
Just like blood work. Yeah, and just symptoms. So like I started getting facial hair, and like, yeah, that's like a symptom, which absolutely sucks. I still have it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. So you find out you have PCOS, so you were like a little nervous, you get off the birth control. And was getting off the birth control kind of like, let's see if I get my period back, or was it, let's start trying for a baby?
So once I got off birth control, we were working on my period first.
Gotcha.
And that took like 6 months to like, cause he's like, once you get off of the IUD and like birth control, you need to give your body a little bit of time, cause it could have affected it to the point where like you need to kind of kickstart it again, and it can take time. So after about 6 months, then I like was like, something's wrong. And then that's when I went in and they diagnosed me. They did blood work and got me diagnosed with PCOS.
Gotcha. So how soon after that were you like, well, let's start trying to have babies?
Yeah. So it was like really soon after that, because I was like, something's wrong with my body. Like, what if it takes us 7 years? And when I was diagnosed with PCOS, I was like, what if I can't have a kid at all? You know? And so like, I still remember that day. It was like absolutely horrific, because I found out that it was like one of the leading causes for infertility for women.
Yeah.
And so I like had a panic attack and like was sobbing and just like so distraught, because I'm like, what if it doesn't happen for me? And I feel like that was my life calling.
Yeah. You've always wanted to be a mom.
Yes. And so that was really hard. And then we worked through it, worked with the doctors. I made a ton of life changes to try and help my body and my hormones to just get back to normal. And then I would say after about a year and a half of like that total trying time and like figuring out my period, that's when we like started Clomid.
Okay. And then, so you went on Clomid.
Yeah.
And is that how you got pregnant with the triplets?
Yes.
Was Clomid?
Uh-huh.
You're kidding.
Yes. So I took 3 different doses. So first dose was 1 month, second dose was 2 months, and then third dose was 3 months. And that's what got me the triplets.
Is that common?
No, not at all. And I think it's because we have twins that run on both sides of the family.
Okay. So, wow. So when you find out you're pregnant, I'm sure you're ecstatic. Like,
yes.
So excited.
Yes.
How soon after finding out you were pregnant did you find out it was triplets?
So we found out we were pregnant, and then a couple weeks later, I was experiencing a ton of back pain, and it was just on one side. And so I called my doctor. I was like, I'm really concerned about this. And he's like, okay, I don't want you to freak out, but you need to come in tomorrow morning. This could be an ectopic pregnancy. And so my heart just sunk. I was like, we've been trying for so hard, going through this whole process, and just like that, it's ectopic. And so we go in and they check and they do the ultrasound. And I was like, I was wanting to film it, but I was like, I can't even pull out my phone because I'm so devastated.
Sad. Yeah.
Yeah. And so then they found twins. And then I was like so ecstatic and so excited.
And I'm assuming Mitchell was with you.
Yes. And Mitchell was with me. And so he's like, oh, it's just growing so fast. That's probably why you have your back pain. It's not ectopic. It's just a normal pregnancy, but you have twins. And so then we're like so pumped. We like for 2 weeks, we think we're having twins.
Did you tell anybody?
Yes. Yeah. We like announced it that we were pregnant, and then we announced that we were having twins. And I feel like twins people are like pumped about.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people even want twins.
Yeah. Twins is great.
Yes.
Twins is doable.
Yes.
Twins is doable. There's 2 parents, 2 kids. You can do that.
And so, and then we go back for my 8-week checkup. And the doctor literally just goes like this on my belly, like one like sweep, and it just goes boom, 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 like 3 sacks, boom, boom, boom on the screen.
Were you filming this?
No. And so, and then my husband kind of takes a step back. He's like, what was that? Like, what's going on? And then the doctor just has this like blank stare on my face. And me, I automatically go to panic mode every time. And so I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? Because I wasn't paying attention to the screen. Like, I was just like, something's wrong with the babies. And then he goes, you might need to start going to a different doctor. And I was like, why is that? And he goes, you're having triplets.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What was going through your head?
I can't remember one thing after that, because my face, all I remember is my husband looking at me and saying, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Because I was a ghost.
Yeah. I can imagine. Because you thought you were having twins. Super exciting.
Yes.
A little stressful, but exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Add one more.
Yes. And like, I feel so bad saying that now, because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're the biggest blessing.
Of course.
And I love them so much, but it was such like and my husband automatically was just pumped. He's like, 3 kids. Yeah, let's go. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of nursing school. Like,
Yeah.
we have a super small car. We had just bought a duplex that was 750 square feet on one side that we were going to live in. And so I was like, we need a new house. We need a new car. Are these babies going to be healthy?
Yeah.
Am I going to be healthy?
Yeah, you have to carry them.
Yeah.
No, and triplets, that's high risk. I mean, twins are already high risk.
Extremely.
And so add triplets to that, that is scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot to fathom all at once.
Yeah. And so it just became like a very extreme, like high, what's the word? High risk situation. Yeah. And so I was like monitored like consistently throughout my whole pregnancy.
When I'm assuming you told everybody that had already knew that you were having twins pretty quickly once you found out it was triplets.
Once we found out it was triplets, it was more of just like it wasn't like a super excited thing. It was more like, we're having triplets and this is like serious. Like, we need help. Yeah. And so we literally called everyone that same day and we were like, we need to tell you something. Like, there's 3 babies. And a lot of people were just like, no. Like, everyone turned into a panic mode.
Yeah. Like, you're joking.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Because it not only affected our lives, it affected their lives too. Like,
it's stressful because you want to help, but like, how did people want to help? Were they like, let's help financially, let's help with time? Like, what was there a game plan?
Yeah. And I mean, there wasn't like a game plan, I guess. Like, I became a part of like a triplet mom group in Utah, which I feel like was the most helpful. But luckily, like, we have a lot of family close by, which they've been so good to help. And so like, we kind of like had an idea, but what threw us off was how early they came.
Yes. Cause they came at 28 weeks.
28 weeks.
And that wasn't planned.
No.
So what happened there?
So I had Braxton Hicks quite a bit, but my doctor was always like, you need to keep track of like how often you have your contractions. And if they are consistent and they last for more than like 2 hours, you need to come in. And there had been like a couple of times where I'd gone in and it was like a false alarm or, and there's been triplet moms that have gone into the hospital and stayed there for like months just to like keep everything healthy and everyone doing good.
Just total bed rest.
Yes. And so I was like, the night that it happened, like, I was experiencing those contractions and I went in and I had this feeling that I wasn't coming back. Like, I felt like I was going to be staying there. I didn't think they were coming, but I thought that I wasn't going to leave.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we just had constant contractions and I mean, they couldn't stop it. They literally couldn't. Happening. Yeah, it was happening.
And obviously it was a C-section.
Yes. So they got me started that night on like magnesium, steroids, all the things to try and stop labor. And then the next morning they like checked my cervix and they're like, you're in active labor. So like since the babies were so small, they're like, we need to get them out safely. Yeah. So like we had this plan and like they were like out by noon.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What was going through your head during all? Were you scared?
I was terrified. Yeah, because they were so small. Yeah. And like 28 weeks is like where you want to make it to 28 weeks because that's when like the risks for like disabilities and just like brain things go down, but they're still so vulnerable to so many different things and like there's a lot of health complications that happen when you're that small.
How big were they when they came out?
2 pounds, wow. 3 ounces, 2 pounds, 7 ounces, and 2 pounds, 12 ounces.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. And they were probably what, like the size of your hand or smaller?
Yeah, about my daughter, she actually dropped below the 2 pound mark eventually because you know how babies lose weight at the beginning? Yes. She dropped below 2 pounds and her little forearm was the size of my pinky.
Oh my goodness.
And they were so tiny.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Obviously you didn't get to hold them or anything for a minute.
I could have, but the problem was me. I couldn't get out of bed for like 2 days.
Really?
Well, I guess it was 1 day, but like I couldn't even get up to get into a wheelchair because I had lost so much blood. Really? And so I was completely out of it for the first like 24 hours. Oh my gosh. They almost had to give me blood, but I didn't get it. Luckily, like my body started healing itself, but like I looked in the mirror, I remember, and I was just a ghost.
How was Mitchell? Was Mitchell scared for you?
I think yes, for me, but I think I was just like, go to the babies, be with the babies. Like, I'm okay. Like, I have nurses taking care of me, but like, I want you to be with them because I can't be there.
Yeah.
And like, part of me like missed them, like in my belly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm crying about it,
No,
but
that's totally so. Where are my tissues?
oh no.
I think it's a hydrogen. If that was a
Thank you.
Stanley, it would spill
But
everywhere.
yeah, yeah, it just was so overwhelming, and so I just sent him with the babies, and like I missed having them in me, and like I felt like for a moment I felt like I had failed them because my body couldn't do it anymore and I couldn't stop it. And I've come to the realization now, like, it's not my fault.
Not at all.
They were meant to come. And Tommy was actually having issues a little bit when I was pregnant. And so I think that like it was her time to come out. Like, she needed to come out to get the nutrients outside of the womb better than in. But like for a moment, yeah, I was just kind of feeling right after giving birth, I was feeling really down about myself.
When did you finally get to see him?
The day after, and it was Mother's Day.
Did that heal you a little bit, or
yeah.
did you still feel that sadness?
No, it definitely was healing, but that first 24 hours was rough for me. But I like the first time I held them, I'll never forget it. 'Cause it was just like holding that size of a baby and just like feeling that connection. Yeah. It was so strong.
There's a video of you holding all three on your lap. Yes. Was that day or no?
No.
Because I'm assuming since they were so little, you had to be so careful. It was probably just one at a time, right?
Yes. So we were only allowed to hold them each one at a time. And we had to hold them, this kind of sounds weird, for a minimum of an hour.
Because the skin to skin.
Yeah. But they didn't want too much stimulation. And like, if you got the babies in and out of the isolettes a ton, then they would be overstimulated. So you had to, if you put them on you, you had to be there for a while. And so that I held them like Mitch also did one-on-one, like skin to skin with all of them. We did it every single day for 3 months. And then eventually, once their cords became disconnected, because they were on oxygen, they were
I'm sure there was a million cords.
So many cords. And so we couldn't, it wasn't necessarily that we couldn't hold them all together. It was simply that we couldn't get all the equipment close enough to like be able to hold them all together. So it was just like a week or two before we went home that I finally got to hold them all at once.
Was that so emotional?
Oh my gosh, yes. Like so emotional, like the best moment of my life.
I bet. Because it's like they were inside of you and for the first time, they're all in your arms.
Yes.
At the same time where like they started.
Yeah. And it was like kind of the first time that it hit me. I was like, I had triplets. Like, these are my babies. There's 3 of them and I just love them so much. I can't wait to take care of them.
When did you get to go home after your C-section?
So I think they put you in the hospital for like 4 days, like 3 or 4 days with the C-section. Yeah. But they do this thing that's called like a hospital stay. So or like a hotel stay at the hospital. So we actually stayed for like 3 more days. So we had a total of a week.
Okay. And you probably didn't want to go home.
No.
I feel like that's how a lot of NICU moms are. Like, I didn't have your NICU experience at all, but 2 of my babies, I had to leave without them. Yeah. And I was the worst feeling ever to leave the hospital knowing that they're still in there. And so I can't imagine that times 3. Like, you were probably like, no, I don't want to leave. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but today's Dumpster Deep Dive is brought to you by Road to Baby. Did you know that 1 in 8 people in the U.S. alone struggle with infertility and have difficulties growing their family? The team at Road to Baby understand the pain and frustration that can come with infertility, and they are there to help you navigate that often bumpy road to parenthood. Road to Baby is a surrogacy, egg, and sperm donation agency based out of San Diego, California, who connects those in need with surrogates, egg donors, and sperm donors to help them grow their family. Road to Baby believes in fairly compensating those who make these dreams of parenthood come true. First-time surrogates working with Road to Baby receive a minimum of $56,000 for their incredible dedication. Egg donors are generously compensated at $10,000 per donation, and sperm donors each earn $5,000 for their first donation. If you've ever considered becoming a surrogate, egg donor, or sperm donor yourself, I encourage you to reach out to Road to Baby. You have the power to change lives and make parenthood dreams come true. And wait, there's more. If egg, surrogacy, or sperm donation isn't for you, but you know someone who might be a perfect fit, you can earn $1,000 in referrals for egg and sperm donors and $6,000 or more per surrogate referral. If you or someone you know is struggling with infertility, remember that you are not alone. The experts at Road to Baby are there to help you navigate this often challenging path to parenthood. Their experience and guidance can make all the difference in your journey. Road to Baby exists to help growing families and creating a life-lasting connection and making dreams a reality. If you're ready to take that first step or just curious to learn more about the process, schedule a free consultation with Road to Baby. Visit www.roadtobaby.com. ROADTOBABY.com.
So hard. And like, I mean, any NICU stay, like that must have been so hard for you too. Like, I can't even imagine.
Well, the NICU's like such a peaceful place because like they're literal angels. Like literal angels are watching your angels. Like it's the most pure place, but it's not home, you know, like it doesn't feel like home. And so you just like cannot wait till you can finally take them home.
Yeah.
And for you, that was 3 months.
Yeah.
For me, that was only a week.
Yeah.
So 3 months, that's a lot of back and forth, back and forth. What was that like? Was Mitchell able to like get off work for those 3 months? Like, were you guys spending all day there? What was that like?
Yeah. So I was graduated, luckily.
Thank goodness.
And so I spent all day, every day there. Like there were some times that we would come home at 2 a.m. and then get back up and go at 6. So I was literally there all day long. And Mitchell's work, luckily, I'm so grateful for them. They do 3 months paternity. And then his boss was just like so kind and was like, you know what, like you can be pretty lenient the next 3 months. So he like took like 6 months off. Like
that's amazing.
And it was the biggest blessing for us because he was there. Like I would say I was there. If I was there 100% of the time, he was there probably 90% of the time or more.
Well, and you need that support as well, not just the babies, but you too, because you have like the weight of the world on you. It feels like, you know, when you're a first-time mom and a first-time mom of 3.
Yes.
Did your milk come in? Were you pumping? What were you doing?
Yeah. So
obviously the babies couldn't take the milk yet.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool because I was pumping, and luckily when I did my capstone, I was following a lactation consultant around all day. So for 100 hours, I had this like experience.
You were seeing it firsthand.
Yes. And so I immediately hopped on the pump. Like I was pumping and I was pumping a crazy amount of milk. Like
I bet
I was pumping every 2 hours to get my milk supply to like just build up because I was like, if I can't like be there for you guys, like I am going to do everything to like get you the nutrients that you need.
Yeah.
So they were giving them my breast milk through a feeding tube. And there were mornings where I would pump out like 30 ounces of milk.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, when your milk came in, were your boobs in so much pain?
Oh my gosh. So much pain.
TMI, but like, did you have big boobs before?
No.
Like, so were you just like, what are these massive rocks on my body?
They were huge, Josie. They were huge.
Well, I can imagine because mine were huge, but like I was used to big boobs and I only pumped like 6 ounces.
No, literally they were like 2 giant bowling balls on my chest. So, and that's the thing is like my milk would come in, I'd pump it out. And so they would go boom, 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 like a big, small, you know, all day long. Yeah. And so that's why I got a boob job because I had the flabbiest boobs.
I'm sure. Because your body was producing for not 1, not 2, but 3 babies.
Yes.
And overproducing. Because that's overproducing. Because 3 babies really only need like 6 ounces at that age because barely they'll have 2 ounces each.
Yeah.
So for you to be doing that much is insane.
It was crazy.
But I'm sure the nurses were like, this is incredible.
A lot of them were just like, wait, is this like real milk? Like, are you sure?
Like, are you go to the grocery store? Like, is this actual your milk?
They had to open I think that, so they opened up like a milk bank while we were there, and they had to put mine in like a whole separate freezer because I had so much. And they're like, and then eventually they're like, you have to stop bringing this in because we don't have room for it anymore.
Yeah.
So then we had to buy a deep freezer at our house. And then they eventually used it, but like at the beginning,
they didn't have the
didn't.
storage for it.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of you having to buy a freezer, did you also have to buy a new house because you were going to live in a duplex?
Yes. So what happened was we were living in an apartment, and it was just in a house apartment.
Yeah.
Kind of like a basement apartment, but it was like a mother-in-law when we were married. And then my landlord moved, and so we ended up last minute moving into my husband's parents' basement.
Okay.
And so we were there when we found out that we were pregnant with the triplets. And then his mom like sat us down and was like, I'm retired. You need to stay for the next like 6 months. And the duplex, like it was kind of in the middle of all that process. Like we moved into his parents' basement and then bought the duplex and then found out we were pregnant with the triplets. And then we were like, we don't fit in there anymore.
Yeah.
So then we stayed there for the first like 6 months of their lives and looked for a house.
Gotcha.
And then moved into the house.
Gotcha. Because there's no way. Like, especially now that they're older, seeing them like play and be all over the place. Like, can you imagine 700 square feet?
Madness. It would have been absolutely crazy.
Yeah. So you got to bring them home when?
So they came home after 81 days.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, because I know with premature babies, it's different. So like they were 28 weeks when they were born, but like technically what was their age when they came home?
Yeah. So they were, let's see, I think it's like, well, I can't remember exactly when they came home, but their like gestational age is like a couple months behind.
Okay.
But it's kind of a gray area because they're like ahead in some things, but then they're behind on some things.
Gotcha.
So like we use like their real age, but then we're like, oh, but they were premature.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So they were 3 months old when you got to take them home.
Yeah, technically. Yeah.
Technically. But how big were they?
I want to say Tommy was our smallest and she was 5 pounds when she came home. 5 pounds, 5 ounces, I want to say.
That's so crazy.
But she was little.
Yeah. Because like 3 months old, like a normal baby at 3 months old is like 12 pounds.
Yeah.
10 pounds.
Yeah.
So depending they were still on the size. Yeah. Like my babies at birth weren't even 5 pounds. My babies were like 9-8 pound babies. Yeah. So that's crazy.
So they were really little and they all came home on oxygen.
Yes.
And they all had their foot monitors. They're like all their cords. So it was really intimidating. Like Mitch and I had been used to it because we'd been taking care of them all day with all the monitors, all the cords. We like basically both of us could have been NICU nurses after that.
I'm sure. You're like, oh no, we know what's going on. Oh, it's beeping. Yeah. He's fine. We just need to fix it. It's on the toe wrong. It's fine.
Yeah. No, literally that was us. Like we took over and I was like, if there's anyone that's gonna be raising my kids, it's me and I'm gonna be there all day long. So but when we brought them
you were a nurse, so you really knew everything.
But honestly, when you go into the field, like you don't know as much as you like learned in school. Like when you're in the field, you obviously learn so much more. So like
so much more hands-on.
Yeah, I had a background, but like I didn't feel like I learned a ton until I was actually there.
Now you could be a full-on NICU nurse. Like,
yes,
you really could.
Yes, 1000%.
Like you're very qualified.
Very extremely qualified.
Yeah.
But so we brought them home and like it was just very intimidating for a lot of people because they were so tiny. They had oxygen. They had feeding issues because you don't develop like a sucking reflex until I think it's like 32 weeks. And so it's a lot easier to develop that when you're in the womb, but when you're outside of the room, like you have to learn it.
Yeah.
And so each baby, you had to feed them a certain way. And it took like 45 minutes to feed each one.
So they weren't on feeding tubes when they came home.
And then we would have to restart every 3 hours. So we would feed for 45 minutes each and then restart again at 3 hours. And I was pumping in between that. So it was literally like 6 months, I want to say, back to back of just pump, feed, clean bottles, sanitize bottles, and then feed again. Like it was just all day long.
No, that is so wild. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. That's exhausting. It
was exhausting.
Did you have any help?
Yes.
Like were parents coming in, taking turns? Like,
yeah. Like my family, my grandma's been great. She just like comes all the time still. Mitchell's mom obviously lived there. Like my family came and they like stayed nights and like everyone everyone just helped. Like all family just pitched in.
What were the nights like?
Just wake up, feed. And
when did it slowly get a little better?
I remember after a couple months after they had been home, we were like, okay, I think that they're okay to have 1 6-hour stretch a night, because the hardest part of this was that they needed to put on weight.
Yeah.
And having a premature baby, it's a lot harder for them to put on weight.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we have to feed them all the time. And like, I still was like, I need to give them my breast milk because I feel like that's what's best for them.
Yeah. It has the most nutrients and you're producing it. So
yeah. And
it wasn't like that was a problem for you.
No, not at all. And so it was like, it was just really busy, lots of sleepless nights, and like trying to figure out a schedule where it's like Mitchell, he does a lot better at night, like staying up.
Yeah.
And so he would kind of stay up for like the midnight feed. And then I'd let him sleep for like through the 9 or like through the 6 o'clock feed. And I'd get up early morning and feed him at 6.
And would you do like the propping? So you would feed them all at the same time? Okay.
Not yet. No, because they were so little. They wouldn't even keep it in their mouths like that. Like it was such a technique that you had to do to feed them. It's really complicated.
And the cords too.
Yeah, and the cords. And so you couldn't prop them yet. Like eventually I ended up propping them because they can grab their own bottles. Like they reached a point where I could do that, but not for a long time.
Wow. Because I had oxygen with my boys and I had to bring it home, and I get PTSD thinking about the monitors and like carrying it, and like there's no way you left your house. Like, how did you ever leave your house?
Literally never. There was some times where we take like my massive stroller, like you'll see that on my like social media,
and just throw all the oxygen tanks underneath.
Just throw them underneath and just like get outside, because it's like we have to breathe. And Mitch and I would like take breaks, you know, because we needed that. And like people would come and like let us take a break, take a nap, like things like that. But the first, like I didn't document any of that time because it was so
survival mode.
Crazy. Yeah, just crazy.
I can't imagine. And some of them still need oxygen at night, right?
Yeah. So Lennon, she actually has sleep apnea.
Okay.
And so she has to wear it just when she sleeps.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And they also needed helmets at some point.
Yes.
All 3 of them.
Yes. And that's because they were so early. Yeah. You lay in that isolette all day, your head's just to the side. And so it started getting flat on the sides. And I was like, we're just going to get them in helmets. And it was actually kind of a blessing because they had their helmets on in the stage where they were falling over and hitting their heads on everything. And so it was actually kind of nice for me.
You're like, you're safe.
You're
good.
You're good. You're good. Your head's protected. Yeah. It's fine.
Since them being so early, you kind of talked about that 28-week mark is where you want to be for disabilities. Do you know if any of them are going to have disabilities from being so early?
No, so they don't.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And they were diagnosed with something kind of crazy in the NICU.
Okay.
And then my father-in-law actually like gave them each a blessing, and they like, it was actually a miracle. They were completely healed from it. And it was the biggest like testimony builder for me. It was an actual miracle. Like it was 2 of them. It wasn't Lennon. It was Elliot and Tommy. And it was like the hardest day of my life. Do
you mind sharing what they were diagnosed with?
It was like a brain issue.
Really?
So I don't
cerebral
know
palsy?
Yeah, so they were saying that because they had this like brain issue, they have what they kind of came to us and said was like they have the like it could either be the smallest like hand issue to like you can't walk anymore, like a mobility issue. And so that hit us like so hard in the NICU because we were like, there wasn't any answers. Like they couldn't give us anything. They couldn't say, I was like, well, how do you know how severe it is? Like what's going on? And they're like, we can't tell you anything. We can just tell you that like there's a mobility issue here. And we don't know if it's like a hand twitch or full on they can't walk. And so like we were just that, I think that out of my whole life, I can say was the worst moment of my entire life.
I'm sure as a mom.
Because I just like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. And then we literally experienced a miracle. Like it's just the craziest thing. And I've never talked about this before. Like, it just hit us. And now I'm so blessed that I have 3 healthy babies.
Yeah.
I never thought I would.
For those who don't know what a blessing is, who may be listening and they don't know what the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is, a blessing is a priesthood blessing where a man, husband, father who holds the priesthood gives a blessing of like health and I'm assuming, do you want to describe, you were a missionary, so you can describe it better than I can.
My husband's dad just like came and put his hands on the little babies' heads and just like said a prayer blessing them that they will be like live a full life and that they'll be happy and healthy. And it was just a blessing of healing, and it gave us a lot of peace too. And literally, like, then they scanned him again like a week later and the brain issue was completely gone. Like, I like literally am at loss for words, because I had always felt like God was there for me, but I didn't realize how much he was until that moment and like how real he is until we really experienced a miracle, like an actual miracle.
Were the doctors shocked?
Yes. Nobody knew what was going on there. Everyone was confused.
And now how old are they now?
20 months.
I was going to say they're over 1. Like they're going to be 2 soon.
All running, all happy, all healthy. And like, I literally couldn't have asked it for it anyway. Like, it makes my heart hurt for people who do go through that and who are in those situations, because I just feel so lucky. And there's so many people who don't walk out of that feeling lucky.
Yeah. No, that's...
Sorry, so many tears at this. I have lots of tissues. I should just keep a box over here. Just so much.
Here, you get the whole box.
Thank you.
It's your present. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And the emotions of thinking one thing's happening and then immediately soon after thinking the opposite, and just not knowing. The not knowing is just probably the hardest part, because you're like, I'm so grateful, but what if something else happens? What if something like the NICU at that such of a little of an age, like there's so many unknowns.
Yeah. And I was just shocked, like just crazy. And that experience, like, I just feel like the last couple of years, like things with my dad, things with the babies, like it's just been a lot to handle for like us. And I feel like starting last January, it was like I can breathe, like they had surgeries that they dealt with and like things like that. And then everyone was just healthy, like starting January, because we still dealt with a lot like outside of the NICU.
Yeah.
But now that stuff's just all done, I'm like, I feel like I can just be a mom. Yeah. I can like be there for my kids, and like we're just so much happier than we were back then going through all that stuff.
It's not as stressful.
Yes.
Were you documenting, because you obviously posted like your gender reveal and all those things?
Yeah.
Were you active on social media before finding out you had triplets?
No. I honestly, like, I posted, like, it was just like the high school, like I posted prom or like, got our wedding pictures up there. I literally posted like once every couple months, and like I was really low key. Like, I did not care about social media. I couldn't name any influencers. Like, I didn't know anything. And so I posted my gender reveal, and that's when everything kind of just like took off.
I'm sure.
Like, followers started coming in, and like brands and like all these things. And I was just like, what is this world? Like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I actually have the people that we lived with in my apartment. She was actually an influencer.
Okay.
And I reached out to her and I was like, hey, can you help me navigate this? Like, and figure out what's going on. And so that's when I kind of started a little bit, but I wouldn't say I started taking it seriously until like 6-ish months ago.
Okay. Well, because you were probably just so busy.
So busy.
Because even now, watching you film your day-to-day, first of all, wow, your days are exhausting, and props to you. You need another round of applause. Second, not only, I don't think people understand when you're filming that, you also have to then go edit it. And so it's a full-time gig, not only being a mom, but then filming being a mom, and not just a mom, but a triplet mom. Like, that's a lot.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes.
And there has to be a payoff. Like, do you feel like it's worth it?
Yes, I do. I would say right now, like I am so busy, and it is a lot. I don't know. I definitely think that it was good for me to like take advantage of it. But like, I also feel like I've been able to connect with so many moms. I even had this one lady reach out to me because my son had a head surgery because his skull was fused together when he was born. So they had to go and remove some skull to open it up. And like, I even had a mom, like, I think it was from like Ukraine or something, that reached out to me, and she's like, my son is going through this exact same surgery. Like, can you please help me? Like, what's going on? And so I walked her through it. And like, I just feel like I've been able to like help so many moms. I get DMs like, you motivated me today. Thank you so much. And it's just so, I don't know. It's just, I just feel so happy that I'm able to like help in some way, just because being a mom is hard.
It is.
It's rough.
Whether there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's hard.
It doesn't matter how many you have. It's hard. And like, I just am happy that I'm able to like motivate in any way that I can moms.
Yeah. When being a mom content creator, I feel like there's a lot of hate. Have you experienced any hate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the mom shamers.
Yes.
Which is just, it's crazy because the people shaming moms are like also mothers who understand how hard being a mom is.
Yeah.
And yet they still are like, let me shame someone.
Yeah. So I kind of just laugh it off.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I mean, sometimes I'll read comments, sometimes I don't, because there's a lot of comments. And so it's like, I just laugh it off.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good that you're like, I'm not going to give you my energy because it's not worth your energy.
No.
It's not worth your time. But I feel like a lot of people, that's why they stop posting, is because they can't handle it. So I'm glad that you've been able to be like, no, I'm not even going to let that take away my spark because it's not worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Does Mitchell feel that way too?
Yeah, he laughs at him too. He's just like, people are just dumb.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. And people will say things like, I don't know, Mitchell, he doesn't love being on camera.
Yeah.
And so it kind of looks like sometimes that I'm like a single mom. But people don't know that like he's the one getting up in the night. Like, yeah. I told you earlier, he is really good at nights. I do not stay up late. I'm like total go to bed early. You know, like he does a lot of night things.
He's a night owl.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of videos I record that are just me, but like there's times where he bathes them all by himself, or like he gets them down by himself. Like,
but he doesn't want to be on camera,
which
I kind of love. Yeah. I love when men aren't like, give me the spotlight. I want to be on your YouTube, Netflix. Yeah. I want to be on a Netflix special. Give me all the attention. Like, let you have your moment.
Yeah.
Your moment as a triplet mama. Okay. So do you think you're always going to post the kids as much as you do now?
I don't know. I don't know as they grow. Like,
yeah,
they also will get older, and like I don't know if like I probably won't focus on them as much. Like I want to share about me too, like my life, and like as they grow up, I just don't know. Like I feel like as time goes on, I'll be able to tell when it's time.
Yeah, you'll feel it.
Yeah,
when it's time. Do you want more kids?
Actually, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm a surprise. Just kidding.
My gosh. My heart just sunk because I was like, are you kidding?
Big announcement.
I've had 3 people do that before.
No way.
Yes. And I was like, is this really happening right now?
No.
Oh so my gosh. Clickbait.
No. Yep. There you go. I'm pregnant, everyone. No, I'm not. But
gosh.
I feel like we'll just see as time goes on.
Okay.
You know, like we've always wanted like 4-ish, but like I'm like, if we have another one, well, I have to be on Clomid.
What if you had triplets again? Is that like a thing?
Yes. You have a higher chance of having triplets if you already had them.
I mean, you would know what to do, but like...
yeah. I'm just like... and honestly, people would call me crazy, but I would have triplets again if they weren't in the NICU.
NICU for that long. Mm-hmm. No, that is a very emotionally and physically draining process. Yes. And it's scary for them too.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, my heart's like beating. Okay, she's not pregnant, you guys.
I'm not pregnant, you guys. No.
But you have thought about maybe having another one.
We've thought about it. We've gone back and forth, but like a lot of people, I don't know why. One of the first things people ask me, especially when we're out in public, it's like, "Are you gonna have another kid?" I'm like,
"Do you see my life?"
I'm like, I don't know.
Like, ask me in like 3-4 years.
Yeah, I'm
maybe.
like, I don't know.
No, and they're at like that busy phase too, where it's like they're starting to get their crazy personalities and wanting to run around and do things. But you posted that they were like playing together, and that's fun to see them play.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. Like I have looked forward to them interacting and playing together more than anything.
Oh, I bet
it's the best.
I bet. You got your boobs done. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because I'm so curious how that recovery's been with triplets that are under 2.
Uh-huh.
So you went to Dr. Watterson, right?
Yes.
I had a consultation with him.
You did?
When I wasn't very serious about it, I was just like, I want to like see what it is. And he's the sweetest guy.
He is the sweetest human I've ever met.
And did you love your experience?
Loved it.
So how like postpartum are you? Not postpartum, post-op. Because you got it done a couple months ago?
I had surgery, I think it was like beginning of December.
Okay. So it's fairly recent.
Yeah. So, but past the time where I like can't lift, can't do any of that stuff. So.
And you got a lift and implants?
Yes. So I had a major lift done.
Major. Keyword major.
Major lift. Because I was pumping out those 30 ounces of milk all the time. And so my boobs were constantly being inflated and deflated, like literally a balloon. Yeah. Not kidding. Like,
no,
like,
I believe it.
I've shown people like pictures of the befores, and like I've told them before, I'm like, these are bad. Like, these are really bad.
I want to see these pictures. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Like,
I will literally show you, Josie. I don't care.
No, because I got a reduction in the lift, and I'll show people. Mine was my nipples.
Oh my gosh.
Nipples were literally the size of this. I'm not even kidding. They were huge. They were huge.
Yeah, I literally have a picture right here. I'm not even kidding. I'm like,
no, the cameras won't see it.
Okay, this
is your before.
This is my before. Okay. You can laugh.
I
do not care. It's hilarious, actually.
Because I understand. I feel your pain. Okay, I was expecting much worse though, but that is a flat pancake. That is a flat pancake. That is a flat pancake. But your nipples are cute, and you have a 6-pack. Can we talk about that? I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
Excuse me. You have triplets. What?
So, yeah, I got the boobs done because obviously
those are some flat pancakes.
There's some really flatties.
Yeah.
And I had always kind of like had in my mind, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get my boobs done because I'm like, my mom got their boobs done. Yeah. Like everyone's gotten their boobs done.
Everyone gets their boobs done.
Yes.
It's a confident
and
booster.
My mom was a flat pancake once. She had all of her kids, but I'm like, maybe like down the road. But like after having my breast milk like go completely away, I was like, Mitchell, like I am so self-conscious. I can't wear a swimsuit.
Yeah.
I can't wear a workout top. And I would talk about it all the time. I was like, I feel so gross about myself.
When did you stop pumping?
At 14 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Exclusively pumping. Like
You're
tried
incredible.
Breastfeeding them every now and then, but they just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
that is a long time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think pumping's harder than breastfeeding.
It's rough.
It's so time consuming, and it doesn't get the feeding part done.
Yeah.
So it's not like when you're breastfeeding, it's like, okay, that I fed them, so now I'm done. It's like, no, you pump. Now you need to go feed them with what you pumped. And then you need to clean the pump parts. Like,
that's so annoying.
It's a full time. What was your go-to pump? Do you have a favorite pump?
I used Spectra.
Okay. Did they ever sponsor you? Because if they didn't, they were missing out. They were missing out.
I should have reached out to them.
Why didn't you?
I definitely should have, but
I'm shocked. You should still try.
I should. Yeah,
that's
I should.
Crazy.
So, but I'm like really grateful. Like anyone thinking about it, seriously, the best thing ever. 1000%. Big confidence booster. Like so many pros. Like the only con I would say is like my husband can't keep his hands off me, which is
you're like,
please just chill a little bit.
What size did you get?
So it was 325 cc's, but it was not moderate. Yeah, I think it was moderate. Not the like high profile, but the like middle one.
Yeah.
So kind of perky, kind of natural looking. And I will say I was lopsided for a bit because my one side dropped and this side didn't.
Didn't drop yet.
And I was like stressing. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And then finally it came down. But yeah, it was like really high up in my collarbones at first. And then I didn't know that over time it looks naturally better.
Drops, yeah. So you're loving them.
Loving them.
And what was that recovery like?
It was actually a lot better than I thought.
Really?
Like it wasn't very painful. I mean, the first week I was like, I'm kind of groggy, can't really do too much, but I didn't at this point, like people are like, wait, you did it with the triplets so young? Like you have triplets and you're doing a boob job and you can't like really lift them. I'm like, but they are so independent right now that they don't want me to hold them.
Right.
Like, they just want to do their own thing. They want to go up and down the stairs by themselves. The literally only thing that I couldn't do was lift them in and out of their high chair and in and out of their cribs, which my husband works from home. So it's like, hey, can you hear me do this real fast?
Yeah. Well, and how amazing it was for your mental health to have new boobies. Like
yes.
that outweighed any cons. Like,
yes,
let's be real. Like, it's true. A boob job, whether it's a reduction, a lift, implants, it does wonders for your mental health. Like,
oh, yes.
If that's something you struggle with.
Yes.
And I always get like scared with like breast implant illness. I feel like I'm going to be like the one person that gets it. That's why I didn't get implants, but I want implants.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get implants.
Yes.
They just couldn't do it all in the same surgery because I also needed a major lift and reduction. But were you ever nervous about that when you went in for implants, or you were like, no.
I'm like, if I need to, I'll just take them out.
Facts. Yeah.
You know, and he told me everything. Like, they tell you all the risks. They tell you all the things. And I'm just like, yeah, put them in.
Outweighs.
Do it. Get them in right now.
Okay, one last question before we take out trash.
Okay.
If you could go back and tell your freshly pregnant Haley self anything, what would you tell her?
Oh, just that everything's gonna be okay. I was so worried, so stressed, and like if I could go back and tell myself when I was pregnant that everything was gonna be okay and like believe it, like, yeah, I think that's what I would say.
It'd probably be very like relieving to feel that
everyone's gonna be healthy, everything's gonna be good, and one day you'll be happy and the kids will be running around and playing and it will be okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see them as like toddlers, like full on 5-year-olds at kindergarten, first day of school with their cute outfits.
I know.
Because the girls aren't identical.
No. And all of them are polar opposites. Like,
really?
Yeah, literally polar opposites. Lennon's blonde hair, blue eyed, pale skin. Tommy's dark hair, dark eyed, tan skin. Elliot's right in between. So nuts.
And are their personalities similar at all? Or are they so different?
Polar opposites.
Okay.
In every way.
That's so fun though.
It's way fun.
Isn't that crazy how genetics work?
Yes. Like, it's just weird. Well, because my husband's from, like, he has his blood just like is from El Salvador.
Okay.
His dad was white, but like his mom was from El Salvador. And so I was expecting that Latino gene to come in really strong.
Yeah.
You know, because that's usually how it is.
Yeah.
But literally just Tommy is like, looks like him, like color wise. And then the rest are just a big mix.
Big mix.
But I love it.
It's going to be so fun watching them grow up.
They're so cute.
I can't wait. All right. You ready to take out trash? Personal Trash is brought to you by Spearmint Love. Spearmint Love is an online baby and kids store with everything you could think of between footies, rompers, knit hats, pacifiers, graphic tees, bows, toys, literally every baby essential. It's my go-to website for ordering cute matching outfits though for my kiddos because they have the funnest prints ever. But they also have classic basics like their best-selling organic waffle collection that is so cozy and so functional. They really do have what you want and what you need, honestly. They sent me some matching neutral checkered PJs for my kids, and I was obsessed because checkered is everything. And then they also sent me some golf-themed jammies for Brooks. Like, that is a want and a need. They're so freaking cute. Whatever your style is, they have it. And if you guys are looking to get some cute Valentine's outfits, Christmas outfits, anything holiday themed, Spearmint Love is the place to go. And they are giving Trashers an exclusive discount that I'm only going to offer for podcast listeners. And that is Weeklytrash for 25% off site-wide. Again, this is only for podcast listeners. I'm not sharing this with anyone else on any other platform. So head on over to spearmintlove.com and browse the over hundreds of brands that they have on site. All different price ranges, and added bonus, they have extremely fast shipping. So again, spearmintlove.com, use code weeklytrash for 25% off. And thank you, Spearmint Love, for sponsoring today's episode.
Yes.
Okay, what happened this week? What current struggles, obsessions, things have you consumed this week?
I recently started tracking macros.
Oh yes, with Macro Habits, right?
Yes, and it's going great. I love it.
What's your split? Do you want to share your split?
So I'm doing the reverse program.
Okay.
So at first I was like at 1,600 calories and like working my way up still.
Yeah.
But my protein's pretty high right now. I'm at like 155 on the protein, and then fats are pretty low. So I am also training with my friend Audrey.
Are you doing like a triathlon?
No, I don't know why this year I'm like, I'm getting healthy. I've got new boobs. I am in my health girl era.
Go.
Like, let's go. I love health. I love wellness.
Yeah.
I love the gym. I love working out. And so I was just like, I just want to like take this to a next level and just get into shape.
So
I'm loving it.
Are you going to like sign up for a marathon or something?
I did a marathon already.
I already did it.
I didn't mean it like that. But
when did you do a marathon?
I did it before we got pregnant. Yeah.
Okay. Before babies.
That was just kind of like a one and done. I'm not doing that again.
Oh, really?
No.
Because I feel like people who do marathons are like become obsessed.
No, I'm not obsessed.
You were like, I pooped myself. I don't want to do that. If I ran a marathon, I'd poop myself. Because when I run half marathons, I poop myself. So that's why my times can never get faster, because I have to run to the freaking potty to shit myself.
Oh my gosh. So, yeah. I am just like, I was so like, I hurt so bad the next day, and I was like, I just never want to do this again.
So triathlon maybe?
No, I just like weights. Like I just like doing gym.
Are you gonna be a CrossFit? Like
no,
compete CrossFit maybe?
I'm not into the competitions. I'm just like into being fit and healthy.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Okay. I just am working out this year, and like maybe I'll share some of the health stuff I'm doing. But I just love it.
That before photo of your boobs, like you're ripped, like cool, same.
You're
same,
so nice.
Same.
You're so nice.
Okay. I'll share some trash, then you can share some more trash. Okay. I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow, and my kid's throwing up, and to change our flights, it was $2,100. So we're going to be taking barf bags on the flight and hope that she feels better. I'm like, that's so not fair. Why? And we got like travel insurance too. Yeah. So I'm like, why is it that I can't change my flight for free?
That is so expensive. And you're just going to California.
Yes. It's
like,
nothing
it's so
crazy.
close.
It's literally a 2-hour flight. If
oh my gosh.
And I'm a little nervous now. I was already like nervous and stressed about flying and like kids and packing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when you have 3 kids, when you pack for 3 children,
oh my gosh,
it's a full on day job. Like all the laundry that you have to do, all the folding, all the things. I haven't done a single thing, Haley. I haven't done a single thing, and we leave tomorrow morning. I'm like, I'm so screwed. I am so screwed. And of course you want them to have like cute outfits. You have to like plan their outfits. And then I'm like, who knows what I'm wearing? I'm just going to show up looking homeless at Disneyland because I don't matter. It's them. They matter.
I do that too, where I like prioritize them. And then it's like, I go out looking like a hobo.
Yeah.
Like I
don't even wear underwear. Like I'm just like totally homeless looking. So it's fine.
I'm sure you'll look great.
So that's my trash, is getting ready for Disneyland with a puking child that I just pray she feels better. And I hope like it's just like a 24-hour like thing.
Like little bug.
But it was so weird because I picked her up from preschool, and they were like, oh, she just threw up. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? We leave tomorrow morning for Disneyland.
Yeah, poor baby.
And I thought we got all the sicknesses out, because I feel like everyone's had like a cold and a cough. And I'm like, okay, well, we've been feeling healthy for 3 weeks. So I thought we were in the clear. But I think if you're healthy for 3 weeks, you're due to be sick again.
Yeah.
That's too long of a health break.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Winter time.
Yeah, no, if you go, you have to like go to Disneyland a week after you're sick, because then you're for sure in the clear. Yeah. But if you're healthy for too long, something will happen. Someone will get sick. So that's my trash.
A hard thing to plan.
My trash really is.
Yeah.
Have you guys gone on any trips with the triplets?
No.
Like,
we went to our family cabin, but
that's a trip.
It was rough. There was like 5 feet of snow, and like we have to take snowmobiles to get up there. And so it was like crazy.
You have to take snowmobiles to get up there, and you had your triplets.
Yes. But luckily we just got like a side-by-side. Okay. And so we were able to get them in that. But like my husband had to like go up in the snowmobile, and I have a video on it on TikTok. You can watch it. But
my gosh.
It's chaos.
That is insane.
But after that trip, we were like, never again.
When was that?
That was a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Okay. That's some trash. Wow. That's crazy.
Crazy.
Okay. What else? What do you do when you're not being a mom?
Oh gosh.
Besides working out and just like being fit and
tracking
your macros and being perfect, Haley. Besides being literally the epitome of perfect human, what do you do?
I am not perfect. Okay, let's see. I love a good self-care night.
I was gonna say, if you say read your scriptures, I'm gonna die, because then you're even more perfect. It's like
I'm working on that, but I'm not the best.
Gosh.
I love a good I like a bubble bath.
Okay,
and
nice
I do like to read, and I just did the series A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Oh, so you like smut?
A little.
Okay.
That might
Haley's
be
a
my
dirty
weak
birdie.
side. That
Haley's
might
a
be my
dirty
weak
birdie.
side.
No, that's a slay. That's a slay. You need that. That's good.
So, yeah, I love bubble baths and all the
Okay.
things.
Do you watch television at all?
Not that much. I just
Okay.
don't feel like we have time.
Oh, I'm sure. No.
Like, besides like taking care of the triplets all day, cleaning up their mega messes that they make all day long,
Yeah.
and then like finally being like, oh my gosh, like
And
I
then
have time
editing
to
your TikToks and your
Yeah.
Instagrams. You're like, I'm going to bed.
no time.
I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. Okay. I'm trying to think of other trash from me this week. Oh, so I talked in solo how I had diabetes.
Oh my
I have type 2 diabetes. I got diagnosed.
No.
Literally craziest thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
And the other day I took a nap on the couch at my gym daycare.
Yeah.
And I thought like a couple people saw. No, the whole gym, like it's like a joke now. Like everyone's like, oh, that's Josie's sleeping chair. I'm like,
oh my goodness.
I'm not embarrassed though, because I deserved that nap. Like that was
Yeah, you
an
did deserve
iconic
it
nap.
for sure.
I was tired. Okay. But now everyone at the gym is like, oh, that's Josie's chair. That's
Yeah.
Josie's chair. And I'm like, thanks. This
Oh
is
my
my chair. So now I
gosh.
have my own napping chair at the gym. So if anybody goes to my gym, they'll know that's my chair. Don't sit in it. So
Yeah, that's your chair.
it's my chair.
You should put your name on it.
I really should.
Yeah, with like
It's
stickers
probably
or something.
so gross though if you think about all the sweaty people that have
Oh,
sat
yeah.
on that chair, and I was taking a nap on it.
You know what? You do you.
It's fine. It's fine.
So diabetes.
Yeah,
Oh my
type 2.
gosh, I haven't heard that episode yet.
Yeah, no, it was like the craziest thing. And I was just on La La Land with Lex. She's the owner of Dressed in Lala.
Uh-huh.
I just went on her podcast and we were kind of talking about it and how like there's like a stigma around type 2 diabetes where it's like if you have type 2, like you must be so unhealthy and like overweight. And I'm like, I'm a healthy person. I would have never thought, but I've just been so tired, so miserable. I have felt so off and I knew something was wrong with me, but I couldn't quite figure it out. Now I know.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so sorry.
Awesome.
That's so rough.
It's just so, it's like a whole other thing. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like Googling, like my last Google search is like, how do I get rid of type 2 diabetes? Yeah. Like, gosh, what do I do there? So that's been some trash. What else?
You hit 1 million downloads.
I hit 1 million downloads.
Congrats. That's amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so happy for you.
That was crazy. That's a big one. You have over 500,000 followers on Instagram. That's insane.
No, with TikTok.
No, on Instagram. Don't you have?
I think that Instagram is. Oh my gosh, my boobs just popped up.
You're like, is that my screensaver?
I'm just kidding.
Let me look.
Instagram's 450, but TikTok's 500.
Okay, still, that's insane. That's insane. Do you ever get like stressed with numbers?
Not really.
Like, are you like, I need to hit 1 million? Like,
no. I just like, I mean, like I said, like I didn't really take this serious until like my babies came, and like I don't know. I just focus on like putting out content that my followers love and like try to connect with them. And like, it's just kind of a number for me. Like sometimes like I just forget.
Good. That's good. That's a good way to look at it for sure. Okay. Any other trash you need to take out? Anything from this week before we do Trash Topican?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you want to grab that trash can?
This one?
Yep.
This
You're going to pick our little Trash Topican. Trash Topican is sponsored by Dreamland Baby. None of my babies have been the best sleepers. With my first baby, Bentley, I tried everything. A friend recommended Dreamland Baby's weighted sleep sack, so out of pure desperation, I ordered it, and I can honestly say out of every sleep sack and swaddle I tried, Dreamland Baby helped give me the most sleep, and that's all I could ask for. So I was so excited when they gave me a code because I have been using that same sleep sack for over 3 years with all 3 of my babies. So it's been through the ringer between spit up, blowouts, multiple wash cycles. It is still kicking. Okay. And I'm so excited to add another one to the rotation. I ordered their dream weighted transition swaddle since Banks is no longer in a swaddle anymore, but still likes to feel snuggled a little bit, and he's been loving it. I've been using it for the past 3-ish weeks, and so far so good. Every time he spits up and I have to put it in the wash and I have to use a different swaddle, I can truly see the difference. It is so crazy how the littlest things can make the difference in sleep, and I love it. So if you wanted to try one of the weighted sleep sacks, you can go to dreamlandbabyco.com and use code Weeklytrash for an exclusive 15% off your order.
Let's see. favorite thing to do when you need a pick-me-up.
Oh. Besides a bubble bath and read a book. We'll do 2.
Okay. Favorite thing to do. Let's see. Let me read this one more time.
Favorite thing to do when you need to pick me up.
Okay.
Mine is eat food in my car by myself.
That's a good one.
That's
a good one.
That's my pick me up for sure.
I would say, read a book, bubble bath. I surprisingly like to cook.
Of course you do, Haley. Of course she likes to cook.
When I was bored, I don't do it as much anymore.
I also love to clean.
No, after the triplets, like I haven't loved it as much, but I used to on like my downtime would like to learn new things.
Yeah.
But I always just like to learn things like crafts or cooking or just like random things.
So what's your favorite thing to cook? Like what's your favorite? Is it genre?
I'm not a
of
baker.
Food? Is that a thing?
I'm not a baker at all.
Okay.
Burn everything I put in the oven.
You don't
like
bake.
Not good. I'm not picky. I really love Mexican food. So Mexican food's like my love language.
Same.
But yeah, mostly just like spa stuff, like yoga or like
just those little pick-me-ups. Okay.
Yeah, those little.
Okay. All right. Let's see what I get. Okay. Where would you go on vacation if money wasn't an issue? Anywhere in the world.
Probably like the Maldives.
I would say the same, like Bora Bora.
Yeah, so beautiful over there.
Like top notch. I want to be treated like a princess. Yes. I want the nicest room. I want a private jet there. I want full on luxury.
Yes. And like blue water.
I want to swim with dolphins.
Yes, me too. That's like on my bucket list.
You need to plan a trip for yourself.
We have talked about that.
You guys deserve a trip.
Yeah, I think we might be going on a cruise later this year, so we'll see.
Please tell me no kids. Like it's
we want to find someone to watch the triplets.
Yeah, I'm like, you need a trip, just you two. Yeah. Is that hard having triplets on your marriage?
No. I mean, I feel like we definitely had to navigate it a little bit because it's like we were so busy and like honestly I missed him. Yeah. Like it was so sad. We spent time together all day in the room, but like we really weren't spending quality time together. Yeah. And so I feel like we were like, we need to start planning date nights, and we've planned date nights and like it's been getting better like to spend time together. Yeah. But like that's been the hardest part. Because I do miss him. I bet.
Like I just can't imagine like keeping the spark alive when you're just like so tired. Yeah. But I guess the boob job probably helps. Like now you're like, I love this. Because like I feel like having kids already kind of affects it when it's just like one kid and like the postpartum phase, and just for you have 3 and that's a lot plus all of the oxygen and all of that. Like that would be really hard, I feel like.
Yeah, it was really hard, but like he honestly is the best husband, best father. Like literally people talk about like me being made to be a triplet mom. Yeah. He was made to be a triplet dad. Like he is primetime best dad I've ever seen in my entire life. Like he knows the routine. He is on it. Even when they were little, because actually Lennon did stay in a couple more days in the NICU than the other 2. And I left him the first day with two newborns, just 5 pounds sitting there, and he did it. He took care of them all by himself when I went off with Lennon.
So basically you're both 2 perfect people that married each other. Awesome.
I'm not perfect. My life is not perfect.
We can all aspire to be like Haley and Mitchell Hess. So nice. That's fine. We'll just aspire to be you guys, because truthfully, you guys are rock stars.
Oh, you're so nice.
Absolute rock stars.
Thank you.
Okay, before we end, one last question.
Yes.
What goals do you have for yourself this year?
Well, kind of like the getting in shape, like I never had before. That's like one that I just do something for me. Yeah. Like I really feel like it's so good for moms to have that, to do something for themselves, be passionate about something. Possibly start a YouTube.
I'm surprised you don't already.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten into it yet, but like I'm thinking I might be starting it soon. So yeah,
what would the title be? The Hess family, the Hess triplets?
I have no idea. Probably just my name.
Yeah,
like what it is before. So
good for you.
Yeah,
good for you. Make it all about you.
Yes. Center of attention. Just
do
kidding.
Do it. Start doing like makeup tutorials, because that's the thing. I feel like as a mom, you get so into like motherhood, you like forget that like you have talents and things too. Like you should promote the crap out of how beautiful you are.
Oh, you're so nice. Thank you. I feel like this year, like I've definitely been more like I'm going to focus on me, like obviously being the best mom that I can be, but you know, I deserve a time too. And so I'm just like trying to focus on myself, healing myself after the craziest couple years that we've had, and just like trying to be the best that I can be.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on Weekly Trash.
Thank
this
you for
was so much fun. Everybody have the greatest weekend. Pray for me in Disneyland that there's no vomit. And where can everybody follow you?
So I'm on TikTok and Instagram.
What's the Instagram? Are they the same handles?
Yes. Hey_Hess.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure they were both the same.
Thank you.
Okay, you guys, I love you all. Go leave me a 5-star review telling me you love me because I love you. And don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.